Hello, Eastview. A special welcome to the freshmen, as it is the first Flash episode they are viewing.
I hope they were able to sleep through that storm last night, because we have a show that they will really want to pay close attention to.
That's right, Christina. Although now that you mention it, last night was pretty restless for me. I couldn't remember if I'd finished all my homework or not.
Well, don't you set yourself a schedule where you sleep, eat, and get all your homework done?
No. It seems pretty difficult to make a schedule that would satisfy me and cover everything I need.
Well, if you think making one for just yourself is a tall order, try making one for thousands of individuals. Tim took an in-depth look as to how our administration attempts to make everyone happy when it comes to their everyday schedule.
We all follow our schedules every day, but do we ever ask ourselves...
Me and C cheered.
We all follow our schedules every day, but do we ever ask ourselves where they come from?
Well, it's a long process. It takes from February till the end of the first week of our school year. All of our teachers are involved in that process. Our counselors are obviously involved. And then generally during the summer, we have a couple of adults who come in who are wanting to be principals down the road, and they work as interns with us.
For all the intricacies of the scheduling system, one would assume it would create many errors.
I haven't had any problems with my schedule, just go with the flow, mostly.
Well, when you consider that we are scheduling about 70,000 classes for our students, they're not very common. We're about 98 to 90% accurate.
With all that in mind, it's easy to see that a great deal of effort is put into making our schedules every year.
It's a lot of fun to build the schedule for everybody. And as you can see from the board, it can look complicated, and all those colors and dots and everything that are on there all mean something, but it's a lot of fun to be able to do.
Signing off for The Flash, this is Tim.
Boy, and I thought my cashier job was a difficult one.
Eastview, if you're like me, you must have noticed Christina's elaborate get-up this evening for her soccer game. Here at EVHS, it's not uncommon to see sports teams decked out in costumes for their big game. However, those who root for ECU's talented teams often go all out as well. Rachel put the superfans in the spotlight in this next story.
It may be quiet now, but come Friday nights, this place is a zoo. If you've ever been to a football game, you may have noticed a group of students in the front of the fan section. These students are called superfans. We went out and got the scoop on what these fans actually do.
The role of a superfan, our job is just to get the people rowdy in the student section, lead cheers. Just do our best so it gets the football team jacked up so we can get the win.
Watching and cheering on our football team because they do so much. I feel like we should repay them.
We were all just brainstorming in someone's basement, and we thought we have the Minnesota Zoo by us, and it's easy to find animal costumes, so we thought it'd be a good idea. There's a lot of things that we could do going along with it.
For many years, Eastview students have passed on the responsibilities of a superfan to the following class. We talked to Mr. Percival about the standards that these students are held to, as well as the history of this spirited school tradition.
It's purely student driven, and it's when a group of kids comes forward and says, hey, this is something we'd like to do, and my response to them all the time is great. I think the more we get involved in doing that, the better. There's some responsibility, there's some privilege.
This will be a tradition upheld for many years. The only question is, after all the animals are caged, who will continue the legacy?
Signing off for The Flash, this is Rachel.
With those fans at my back, I'm sure I could accomplish just about anything.
Speaking of accomplishments, a couple of ECU students accomplished an interesting challenge over the summer. 2 ECU seniors ate at Chipotle for 100 days straight, but with a recent outburst in Salmonella occurring at some local Chipotle restaurants, they might be rethinking their dietary habits. Mahachik caught up with 2 of them in this next story.
Me and C cheered, came to Chipotle like every day for 100 days straight.
It's good for you, and you get a hefty portion.
Seniors Tav, Madeline and Suchir Shathar take your average fast food craving to the next level. What started off as a weekly lunch for the boys turned into a 100-day streak of Chipotle. But 100 straight days of Chipotle doesn't sound as appealing when there's an outbreak of Salmonella.
45 cases of Salmonella have been reported to the Minnesota Department of Health since the beginning of September. 2 of these cases have gone to court against Chipotle, seeking over $150,000. But our Chipotle experts don't think too much about the outbreak.
17 Chipotles with Salmonella, but this isn't one, so I'm still going to eat it.
The Salmonella thing really doesn't affect me. No matter what, I'm going to like Chipotle, and I'm going to go either way, regardless. So it doesn't really affect me.
Tav and Suchi heard over 100 burritos over the course of the summer, but it could be just one that gets you salmonella, Eastview. Is it worth the risk? You tell me. Sign off for The Flash, this is Mahachik.
Thanks for the insight, Zach. Did they ever find out what caused the outbreak?
You know, originally what they thought was the chicken causing the salmonella. It actually, last night, Chipotle just released a statement that it is actually the tomatoes that cause the salmonella.
And how many cases of salmonella have been detected? Should we be worried?
Well, back when I was making the story, we're about 45 cases, but now we're at 64. So that number is still increasing, but not by very much. So I don't think any Eastview scholars have anything to worry about.
Super fans at sporting events are great and all, but what if we had super fans in our everyday lives?
Stay tuned for the credits, Eastview.